What's up YouTube? KidMoto22 here, coming to you guys today with a 1,000-mile review of my Lucky Speed Shop Shorty levers. Those things right there. So let's get to it. Alright, welcome back YouTube. KidMoto22 here. And like I said, I'm here to do my 1,000-mile review of my Lucky Speed Shop Shorty levers. If you want to see the install video, just go check up here. I'll put a link up to the video up there of me installing these. The install is pretty straightforward. They're actually they're very easy as far as an install goes, and they were a perfect fit. So you know, my first part of my review, I would say that the fit and finish of these levers is fantastic. They look good. I did get the gloss black levers. They come in all kinds of cool colors. You can get them in red, blue, anodized, gold, black, flat black. You can get them with a there's like a 3-finger lever where there's a little bit of a ledge on there to give you a little bit more of a grip on them. The ones I have are just the standard, what I would call a 2-finger lever that allows you to use the levers with 2 fingers. And so initially, after doing the install, and I did the install early in the season for myself prior to me actually riding. So I ended my riding season last season with regular levers, and I put the Shorty levers on before my season started. So I immediately went out, started riding, and my first thought was, you know, this changed the friction zone, and that's not a true statement. Okay, so I have a hydraulic clutch on my bike. The friction zone, the friction zone did not change, but because the lever that is on there is shorter, there is a difference in when you pull that lever, where you're feeling the action at in terms of where your clutch is going to release. It releases in the same place that the longer levers feel, but you know, the way that the lever goes, the longer the lever, the easier the pull, right? that's a real easy physics lesson. So your first question, are shorter levers harder to pull? The answer is actually yes. So a shorter lever is not going to be necessarily easier for you to pull on when you're riding your bike. And when I say easier to pull, I mean the actual action to pull the lever, the strength that it takes to pull the lever. It is not going to be easier with a shorter lever. Okay, that's not a thing. It is going to be more difficult to pull a shorter lever, and that is true with these. What I like about these levers much better than regular size levers, there's 2 things. Number one, aesthetically, I think these levers look cool. I think they look badass. I really like that part of it a lot. The levers aren't sticking out beyond my hand guards, so that part I really like. There isn't the kind of the ball at the end of the lever. I understand that there's functions behind all of those things, but I like the way that these levers look better. The next thing is that how I ride and how I was using my front brake, my clutch lever, was typically with 2 fingers anyway. Most of the time I was pulling my levers with just 2 fingers. Now it's really, really nice for the front brake because that's a much easier pull. It's easier to control that front brake in terms of how much pressure you put on, because the front brake lever doesn't require a lot of effort to pull anyway. So that's really that really doesn't change things a whole lot. However, the clutch lever is a little bit different, and I'll get into that right now. So because the lever is shorter, it's going to be more difficult to pull. Okay, that's a given. You know, I said that before. I stand by that. The lever is more difficult to pull. However, what it is easier to do is it's easier to find the lever when your hand's on the hand grip. And what I mean by find the lever is obviously the levers don't go anywhere. They don't change position, so they're the same place. You just have to reach forward and grab them. But when you have longer levers on there and you're reaching your hand forward, if you have smaller hands, you may find it difficult to get your third and fourth finger wrapped around that lever. Because of the angle of the lever, it points out away from your bar. And so to keep your thumb and your fingers on that lever, if you have small hands, you might not be able to grab it. And I would say that there's quite a number of women who can't, women riders probably can't. They probably cannot grab that lever. So they're probably already grabbing that lever with 2 or 3 fingers as it is, because they probably can't get their pinky on there. So that's one thing. The other thing is that for quick shifting, this thing is fantastic. I absolutely am in love with this for quick shifting, because it's just a quick pull, quick pull, quick pull, quick pull. I mean, you get your 2 fingers on there. Your other fingers are not getting trapped below the lever or getting squeezed by the lever. That's happened to me before, because as being a 2-finger shifter. So I will discuss now in just a second what I think are the cons of this lever. 1,000-mile review, Lucky Speed Shop, Shorty levers. The cons I have are basically 2. There's 2 things about these levers, I think, and these might actually be a reason why a person would not buy these. Legitimately, I think they could be. Okay. Con number 1, the clutch lever, if you have a hydraulic clutch, is going to be more difficult to pull, because you know the physics behind a lever action. It's shorter, there's less, you know, quote unquote leverage to pull on it, so it's going to be a more difficult pull. All right. Number 2 would be, along with that more difficult to pull con, if you were riding consistently in stop and go traffic, this lever, in my opinion, is going to be more fatiguing. It would be more fatiguing on your hand, your wrist, your forearm, if you were constantly holding in this lever with just 2 fingers as opposed to your whole hand, because it's more difficult to pull. So those would be the only cons that I would have. All of the other things ring true. Fit and finish, absolutely fantastic. Install, straightforward, easy. Quality of parts, these things are solid, well made, well manufactured, perfectly fit on my bike. No issues, no problems. I absolutely love them. They look like they're made and designed for the bike, right? Those things are all perfect. It's just those 2 factors, I would say, are the only things that could be a drawback for somebody wanting to actually install these on your bike. There's a ton of other manufacturers. I like these because I felt like these are priced in the right price range. I didn't think they were too cheap. I didn't think they were too expensive. So I really felt like I was getting a quality product, supporting a small business in the motorcycle community with buying them from Lucky Speed Shop. Delivery was good. They were a little bit further out, so in terms of they do make them in batches, so you know they'll make a bunch of blue ones or a bunch of red ones or a bunch of gold ones. So so if you're, you know, I have seen them on occasion be, you know, back ordered, that kind of stuff. But I turned, you know, when I ordered mine, they had them in stock, so I got them, you know, I think I got them within 2 weeks. I want to say it was something like that. So, you know, turnaround was good as far as ordering time to delivery time, and you know, everything else I felt like, you know, in terms of, like I said, price, everything was all fair all the way across the board. No complaints about that. But I wanted to, you know, run them for 1,000 miles so I could give you a fair assessment. I didn't even know truly after my first day of riding whether I was going to keep them or not, because I was, you know, coming off of not riding for a full season. I had changed the levers and I had not, you know, essentially pulled on a clutch in a few, 5 months, I think, was my time off this year. And truly, I was not sold 100% as soon as I put them on, because of a couple, those things. I thought they were going to be too fatiguing. I thought in stop and go traffic I wouldn't like them. Now, let's be honest, I don't live in a really crazy urban area. I don't ride in a lot of stop and go traffic. For how I ride and what I like to do, these levers are absolutely perfect. And then truly, for me, after running them now for 1,000 miles, and actually riding them in the city, using them for just some city riding, I haven't found them to be too fatiguing. I know where the friction zone is now. I know where I need to pull, how much I need to pull, and the fact that I have 2 fingers on there, I'm actually quite enjoying that. I have more hand on the grip, I feel like, and so I feel like for me, I'm getting a little bit more control because I have 2 fingers on the lever and I have 3 fingers on my grip. Okay, so if you can kind of see how I'm doing with my hand there, that's essentially how it looks when I'm holding the lever with these 2 fingers and the grip with these fingers and my thumb. So to me, I feel like I have more control that way. Same thing on the brake side, and I absolutely would say that I loved the brake side right away. So there you go. That's my 1,000-mile review of the Lucky Speed Shop Shorty levers. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. It's going to be over here or over here. I'll put a video up to another install video or another video of mine that you might like. Again, I'll put that over here. And this is Kid Moto. I'm out.